The 2019 United Methodist Health Ministry Fund Healthy Congregations Retreat focused on thinking about health as more than what happens at the doctor's office. Participants from United Methodist congregations across Nebraska and Kansas spent 2 days being inspired, sharing ideas, and thinking about faith's role in community health.
Well, at County Health Rankings and Roadmaps, we recognize that health is more than what happens in your doctor's office, that health is part of the communities where we live, learn, work, and pray. And so research has shown us that there are multiple factors that contribute to our health, and we focus on 4 main factors in particular. And those include health behaviors, clinical care, social and economic factors, and the physical environment. And we recognize that health behaviors contributes approximately 30% to our health outcomes, and that clinical care contributes about 20%. But it's social and economic factors that we value at around 40%, recognizing that those things that are happening in our communities, like the quality of our schools, the kinds of jobs that are available, and the quality and affordability of housing in our communities really matter to how long people live and how well they feel.
Participants were treated to many thought-provoking panels, which highlighted several successful programs and initiatives to improve community health.
So many people, especially in rural communities, believe that tomorrow will be worse than today because what they've seen is decline and businesses leaving and their youth leaving. And so what we want to do is change that mindset so that they believe that tomorrow will be better than today. And they can see that positive changes are occurring in their communities. And so a few of the ways we've done this are trails. Trails have been a huge part of what we've done. We have created more than 40 miles of trails and routes in just under 10 years in Allen County. And then with our growing trail system, we've also been able to add on our rural bike share program, which is a free bike program that our community members use. More importantly, they use it for reliable transportation, not just touring around town. And so this is a model that has been replicated throughout Kansas and other small communities throughout the nation.
So the Big Garden grows healthy kids, healthy families, and healthy communities through community gardening and education. One of the central things that the Big Garden does is we're trying to change the way the food system works. So making sure that folks have equitable access to adequate nutrition, healthy fresh produce, in their neighborhoods and low-income communities in food deserts. We used to office out of sort of central downtown Omaha, and a couple blocks away there was an empty lot that existed next to it. It was a child care center, a public housing tower, and a liquor store. And the empty lot attracted all sorts of problems in the neighborhood. We went in and we helped start a community garden with the child care center and involved the kids in youth education programming. One day our executive director, Nathan Morgan, needed to get out and get a little fresh air. So he walked over to the garden just to check and see how things were growing. And an elderly gentleman came out of the public housing tower and was like, "Hey, what are you doing in the kids' garden? Get out of here. We don't need any vandalism." And in that space, we saw what had been a consistent problem as a lot turned into a space that the community felt a lot of ownership over and was looking out for.
So the neighboring movement is focused on building relationships between individuals and their immediate neighbors, with an understanding that as neighbors get to know each other and build those friendships and relationships, that it leads to strengthening in the community, reductions in crime, reductions in poverty, and it just makes life better.
Some of the things that we know is that about 75% of people say that they experience isolation on a regular basis, and a third of people say that they experience it even once a week. And so isolation doesn't maybe seem that big of a deal, but recent research has shown that when you experience isolation on a regular basis, it is as negative an impact as smoking 15 cigarettes a day on your health. And so it's a real issue for people to be experiencing loneliness and isolation on a regular basis. And one way that we can combat that is getting to know our neighbors and actively engaging and supporting each other of the folks who live closest to us.
While learning was the priority, participants were also treated to fun and fellowship. Armed with knowledge and fueled by inspiration, Our participants are ready to tackle community health challenges at home.
It's our job to do whatever we can do to help our neighborhood. Isn't that what Jesus said to do? like he said, tag.
Even though Ellis County, when you look at the ranking, we do pretty well in health outcomes, but still, I know that we have hungry children in our schools. We have people who come to our congregation who, probably fall through the cracks with being able to afford housing, being able to afford food, and I think there's ways that we can step in to help fill some of that need.
Well, I would love to do the big garden, and I'm a yoga instructor and I teach at the church, and so I want to see how we can kind of expand our fitness offerings at our church.
In the spirit of our founders, John and Charles Wesley, they talked about do no harm, do as much good as you can do. And that isn't restricted just to worship services inside of a church, that our mission is outside of the church, and our mission isn't just to appeal to people who are already United Methodists or even to make them United Methodists. It's that we want to serve our community in the name of Jesus Christ.
Thanks for joining us. See you in 2020.